I'm here to speak to you about something, though, that you really don't probably think about when you hear about men and women serving in the military. I'm here to tell you about the racism that I experienced as a sailor during the Vietnam War. You have to remember, these were very difficult times, the 1970s. There was a lot going on. And because you're history students, I'm sure that you're aware that even a few years prior to that, in 1964, the Civil Rights Amendment was passed by Congress after being introduced and signed into legislation by President Johnson, whose ranch we're at right now, which is the cornerstone to freedoms for a lot of people, not just African American people, but the freedoms that it ensured touches us all in many, many different ways. Why is it important to know my story? It's important to know my story because I, too, am an American. And this story is about America. And we should know the truth. We should understand the difficulties that are faced by people. Now, I'm not here to tell you something to make you feel bad, because I'm going to tell you, every difficulty that I have faced, I have been able to overcome. So this is also about deliverance. And it's about understanding that when you face adversity, when you face problems in life, even though they may seem insurmountable, even though they may seem like something that you may never, ever be able to overcome, there's always another day. And if you believe and if you work towards finding a remedy, a way to overcome your problems, you can. So my story, even though it involves some pain and some very unpleasurable moments, my story at the end of the day is about overcoming. And I could not overcome by hating the people who did to me what they did, because when I was hating them, the more I hated, the sicker I became. Think about it. Those people have gone on with their lives. That was in the past. They're enjoying the successes, enjoying life, doing what they're doing. Here I am sitting back going, oh my God, I'm so pissed off. Who is that hurting? Is that hurting them? Does that hurt the people when somebody does something to you? Does that hurt the people that did whatever they did to you when you're angry about it?
No.
They don't feel anything, do they? They're going on living their lives. You are suffering yourself. You are doing it to yourself, and it took me a long time to understand that. So that's why it's important to know my story, because you can take portions of my story and things that you deal with in your life and turn it to your benefit. You know, if you understand what it is I'm trying to tell you now, you know, when you come across rough patches, when you deal with people that hate you for no reason at all, for something that you can't even change about yourself, when that happens, you know that all you have to do is persevere. And that you can overcome. And when you do overcome, you'll be a much better person. I was born here in Texas, but I was raised in South Central Los Angeles. And where I was raised at, it was a gang-infested city. But I wasn't one of the kids that wanted to be in a gang. I never wanted to be a gangster. I never saw life that way, because I thought being a gang member was cowardly. I thought that 5 or 6 guys running up on one little individual somewhere and beating them up was a cowardly act. And I didn't want to be involved in anything like that. Early in my life, one of my best friends, that happened to him. Beautiful guy, just like probably some of the people in here. All he wanted to do was tell jokes and have fun and make people laugh. He wasn't a fighter. And they came across him and they beat him badly. And that hurt me and the rest of my friends. And I vowed at that time, I said, I will never, ever be a member of a gang or do anything like that to another human being. So, I want to start by giving you a brief history of racism in the military before I talk about what happened to me. I want you to know that racism has existed in the military, in the American military, since before the Civil War. That all of the fighting units, even up to and after World War II, were segregated. And that the black men that fought in those wars went off just like any of the other citizens, fought valiantly in many cases, shed blood and lost their lives, just like everybody else, and came home to a country that hated them. Came home to a country that would not give them the same rights that they would give other people, simply for one reason: the color of their skin. No matter what, imagine if somebody came in and put a red mark on you right now, and they said, okay, everybody with a red mark on them, we can take advantage of. He said, we're going to just take this half of the room over here. We'll put a red mark on you. Everybody over here, anybody with a red mark you don't like, you can take advantage of them. You can beat them up. You can take their stuff. You can do whatever you want. It's sanctioned. It's okay. That's the way it was. But still, these men, all the way from the Civil War, the troops that actually took the capital of the South, they were black troops. I don't know if you learned that your history buffs, you're learning history in school. I don't know if your teachers have taught you that, but the troops during the Civil War that actually took the capital of the South, they were black troops that did that. They fought valiantly.